Welcome to our YouTube channel, Time to Ace Exam. Today we'll be going through the very first subject that we specialize in, social studies. So a huge welcome to this subject as well. So today I'll be talking about why is it so important to learn social studies as an important subject. You can see that in Singapore, social studies in secondary school is actually a compulsory subject that we need to take for our O-level examinations. And you students, secondary school students, may be wondering and you may be quite curious about why social study is such an important subject in our life and why does it has to be in our education system. And you may think that social study do not bring in much benefits to our work life in the future, and also it does not really have the relevance and the necessity to have as a subject to apply in our real life. Well, today I'll be going through about why learning social studies is really important. And first up is because learning social studies is actually beneficial in a way to allow us to be much more aware and well informed about what's going on around the world. So maybe give you a little bit of example. Maybe in a global context, we talk about Brexit. Maybe we talk about hunger, poverty, or social stratifications, or riots, wars. So when we learn through social studies, we get to understand deeper and have more meaningful insights about these complex global issues. It also helps us to understand a little bit much more better in an objective manner without any biases of our own opinion about Singapore, our own home country, and also what are the complex issues that Singapore is facing. It may be, for example, security issues, maybe for example poverty, the high cost of living that Singaporeans face, or even overpopulation, because we know that Singapore is a small country and we have a population of 5 million. And as we learn through social studies, it provides us the relevant knowledge that we need to know to understand the situation and understand that the surroundings around us are like this. So we get to understand a bit better and also think a little bit more critically about what we should do and what we should refrain from. Also, why do you think that social studies is such an important subject in our education system in Singapore, despite the fact that Singapore has one of the best education systems? They are supposed to provide the subjects that are the most relevant, right? So why is social studies an important subject? Well, it is really a simple explanation here, because social studies is definitely vital, because as secondary school students, as teenagers right now, we are the future generations of Singapore, and we'll be definitely taking over the medical generations. Well, correct? And it is also vital to be well informed, like what I have mentioned earlier, about the complexity and the tension around us. So maybe racial conflicts, global conflicts, especially we know about how Singapore builds mutual and diplomatic relations with the other countries in terms of economic prospect or security prospect. And as we are able to deepen our understanding about these issues and how complex and sensitive it can be, we can actually continue to build a much more sustainable and safe country for all of us to live in. Next, so right now I have just explained about why social studies is such an important subject, and now I'll be telling you about why you as a student should love social studies and as an academic subject in our national exams, and why we should love social studies as an academic subject that is in secondary school, something that is a compulsory subject. And the very first point I would like to bring in is because obviously it helps to increase your general knowledge. So maybe people ask you about your opinions or any suggestions that you have for anti-discrimination laws. You're able to use the scope of social studies, the field of learning, the knowledge that you have learned in the subject of social studies, to share your opinions and your suggestions to others. And this also provides some form of constructive discussions between the people around you, and it also gives people the perception that you are matured and you are really well aware about what's going on around you. Also, the content that is taught in social studies can be extremely interesting, and sometimes it's really fun and engaging as well, because I'm not too sure about you guys in social studies in schools. You probably have some form of discussions of or activities with your social studies teachers to discuss certain social phenomenon that we have observed. So maybe, for example, we would like to share opinions about how will the foreigners think about Singaporeans having the choke table culture, or maybe how foreigners will perceive us when we speak our national language, Singlish, a combination of all four of our national languages combined into one national language to represent our Singapore core. So I think that social study is an amazing subject as an academic subject. It's the best subject for you to share your opinions and discuss effectively in a very fun and relaxed manner, to share your opinions about certain issues, about certain social phenomenon or social issues that you observe. Last but not least, social studies can actually be a very easy subject to score an A or distinctions in your N O levels. This is because social studies is really depends on your own general knowledge, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Social studies is really just about your general knowledge and your understanding about what's going on around you, in terms of the country level, individual level, or even in the global level. So sometimes in your social study exams, they may be asking you topics that are pretty broad and is really about global issues or national issues that are really relevant, or maybe prevalent also. So I think that if you are able to rely on your own general knowledge, and by the way, general knowledge can always be increased or can be strengthened through your own reading from newspaper articles or journals, or even any experts' opinions in the online forums. You're able to improve your general knowledge and be able to answer the questions in the social study exams effectively. Alright, I think I have went through enough about why social studies is an important subject in our education, and why you as a student should love social studies as an academic subject. I think that's all for today. Signing off from the YouTube channel, Time to Ace Exams.